Just my general philosophy as a coach, I think is really important to make sure I explain and talk to my players about. And one of the things that I'm very, very big on is that I want to make sure I develop a great relationship with my quarterbacks. So important. To develop relationships that they know that I care. And my vision is to have my players to leave here and know that they had every tool to be successful, whether it's on the field or off the field. And I also believe in servant leadership. And we can carry that on the field, off the field, in the classroom, at home. I think servant leadership is a big deal, and that's something that I talk to about my players pretty much every single day because it's such a great way to lead. And so we talk about that a good bit. Obviously, the success that we've had here at Clemson has been pretty awesome. We've had 16 postseason wins in the last 10 years. We've been to the college football playoff 6 of the last 7 years, and then been to 4 national championship appearances in the last 7 years. And then we obviously won 2 national championships. And the reason why I say that and bring that up is just to talk about, more importantly, why we've been successful here and what makes us so successful. And it really starts with the people at this place at Clemson. And the people make up the culture. And Coach Sweeney has done an incredible job of creating that culture and hiring the right people in order to allow this place to flourish and to be successful. Our leadership is awesome. From our board of trustees to our president to our AD to Coach Sweeney, our leadership is off the charts. And I think that allows us to be successful in a lot of different areas. And the third thing I wrote down is just love, man. We love our players. And I know that sounds a little silly, but it's true, man. We show love to our players. Sometimes it's tough love. And they understand, though, that in the end, we care about them. And Coach Sweeney says it all the time, but we care about the 30-year-old version of them more than what they are right now. We want them to come back in 10 or 12 years and be thankful that we showed them tough love or held them accountable. Okay, and then development. We've been successful here at Clemson because we believe in the development of our guys and that we have helped develop each and every one of them, again, on the field and off the field. And so that's a big piece of the puzzle. We truly believe in, getting these high school kids to come here and then putting them on a path to allow them to succeed in every area of their life. And there's so many success stories that have come through Clemson as far as development's concerned. Just general philosophy as an offensive staff that I believe in that is very, very important to talk about with your offensive staff, but then also make sure that your offensive team knows it as well. But the first thing is staff unity. Okay, staff unity leads to team unity, in my opinion. Staff unity leads to team unity. So you're going to have to spend a lot of time together as a staff, and the camaraderie amongst the staff is very important. And it's important for the players to see that camaraderie and that love for each other so that they know how to do it themselves amongst their teammates. And it's important that the players must see and feel it. And that's something that happens every single day around here, is that we have unity. We're on the same page, okay? And the next thing that I wrote down is just being organized is important for obvious reasons. Being very, very organized, okay? Having details with your organization and details on what you're trying to accomplish. And then being prepared. Very important when you go into meetings with your offensive staff or with the position group that you coach, that you are prepared and that you have a goal set for that meeting. And it's important that because they know, the players know when you're not prepared, the players know when you are prepared. And they're going to respond better when you're prepared, and they're going to play better in the end. Accountability is something we talk about all the time as an offensive staff and then also as a team. You know, it's important that everybody is held accountable. And it's important that you don't, look past certain things. We talk about doing the common things in an uncommon way. Well, that's making sure you're accountable. All right, making sure you're doing the things that you're supposed to do and doing them the right way. Being disciplined. Being disciplined is a big part of being accountable. But when you have a disciplined staff, it bleeds over to have a disciplined offensive team. And when you have a disciplined offensive team, it allows your success, all right, to be better. Communication and trust. You know, through the years of my coaching, I can't tell you how important communication is. Because we all know that whether it's a relationship or whether you're in a business or whether you're a coach, when there's a breakdown of communication, usually something bad happens or somebody assumes something and you don't get what you're trying to accomplish. And so by communicating constantly with your players and your staff, all right, you can develop trust. All right, you can develop trust because everybody knows what to expect. And so I think it's very important. Every single meeting I have with my quarterbacks is we start the meeting by just communicating. How's school going? Right? How are you doing in the weight room? How's home life? You know, just communicating with them. Open it up a couple minutes of a discussion. Okay, and then by doing that, you're gaining trust by your teammates or by your players. Okay, creating a positive environment. Wow, today in this world, there's a lot of negativity. So we think here at Clemson that it's very, very critical that we emphasize being positive. Again, it doesn't mean that you're not holding these guys accountable, but it means that you're finding ways to be positive so that you can encourage your players, which allows them to be confident and allows them to play at a higher level when they're confident.